semester, yeah.
Your roommate thought that I was Afi in your other video. Like, she already.
I'm gonna introduce him. I'm gonna introduce you guys.
Okay, wait, so what are we gonna talk about?
So, hi guys, welcome back again to my channel, and this is gonna be the second video of Late Night Retreat, or like the second episode or whatever. And I'm joined with two of my friends from uni. You guys are actually the first two people from uni that I actually featured.
Such an honor.
You can introduce yourself, so who wants to start first?
Okay, so I'm Kate. I'm from Japan and I'm studying econ.
I'm Elliot. I'm 19 years old. I'm half Chilean, half Korean. And yeah, that's it. I also study IPCOM, Communication and Media. Same as.
We're econ agents.
And that's how we met.
We're the IPCOM agents. Today, we're gonna basically just talk about life as per usual, with our ice cream, with our rosé, with our Lotus. So we're just gonna start. First topic that we kind of want to talk about, since we're all studying the same major, you guys feel like we're on the right track of study?
I really enjoyed econ. I don't think I can find the same program in Japan. So I'm really like happy.
Yeah, I mean, I had like a breakdown in January because of this. So, like, I was constantly thinking if I was on the right track or not. Like, I joined the program because I really want to become a journalist. Like, that's my main focus. And I've been thinking if this program is the right one for becoming a journalist. Although it's communication and media, it's like, of course, involved and related. Like, I feel like this first year, it's not fully journalism, you know? So I've had some struggles with that, like, kind of wanting to have more in-hand things, and it's very theoretical at the moment.
I feel like a lot of people that have dropped out, their main issue about it is like they don't like the course because it's not practical enough. The sense that it's Bachelor of Science instead of Bachelor of Arts. So that's why it's like more research based and everything.
But like for my case, like you have like a particular goal, like you want to study journalism. But like I didn't have any particular goal, and I don't even know like what I want to do in the future. So for me, it's really nice. Like IPCOM gave me like so much like different opportunity. So like I'm still like trying to like figure out like what is good for me, like what is interesting for me.
Especially in Erasmus, like communication and media is the one that gives us a broader range of things that we can try. Like if you want to try politics, and if you want to talk about like international relations, shit like that, like you can, you know?
But still, I still get a feeling that it's, again, super theoretical. Like, I feel like all the courses are just based on us reading. There's not much room for us to deviate from the curriculum and like discuss more. You had a really good teacher.
Yeah, Kiara. I'm in love. Kiara, if you're watching.
Third episode.
One thing, guys, what is the most shocking thing about this new life? Because like for me, I went to international school and everything was like kind of liberal and everything, even though I was in China, and you know like how the political climate is in China. I want to like explain it even further. So it wasn't as hard to come here because I practice it already in a way.
It's not that much about like the academic life, but it's more about the country, like the culture. And coming from Latin America, like Chile, it's a lot more like family values, like caring about each other, more community based. What we learned in IHC, the you know, the communal, what was it? Like
collective
activist culture. I really didn't feel that in Chile. I just took it for granted, but then when I got here, I noticed like it was so much individualistic, like and very impersonal in a way. And that at first it didn't shock me, but recently I just started noticing all these little things. Like, I don't know, I could literally be run over by a car, and I think like someone would really care, you know? Or for example, we have a saying in Spanish. We say we are very de piel, very skin to skin, like touchy, and that's something that I've been like craving a little bit. So.
I don't know. Like in terms of like adapting like myself to like here, for me it was more easier to adapt like new situation compared to when I went to stay. But like in terms of academic and then social life, because I'm from Japanese public school, I never been to like international school. I mean, there's like some different nationality in my classroom in high school, but like here everyone had different background and different stories, so it was like really interesting to me. But I really enjoyed it because I always wanted to be in the international environment. So
I feel like studying communication with international people and everything, it gives us so much perspective about each cultures and everything. For example, when I would be studying with my favorite teacher, Kiara, she would always like ask each one of us a perspective from our own country, even though I know like a lot of my friends are still like Europe based and everything. You know, even in Europe, there's a significant difference between like, for example, the Netherlands and I don't know, Eastern European countries.
I don't know if this happened to you guys in the beginning. When we're in IHC, we're learning about like friend groups and like ties and stuff. And it was interesting for me like doing this exercise where I would like read the chapters and also compare it with my own process of adapting here. Like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like I'm making this type of group now. Like I had this group in Chile, you know?
I guess 2021, we hope for a better life, you know, new vibe, especially after everything, all the fucking shit that happened in 2020.
I don't know, I feel like it's getting worse.
Exactly.
Mentally, like last year I was fine, like even though like lockdown started, I was like, okay, yeah, I still have fun, but maybe because curfew, like ever since curfew started, I don't know, it hits me.
Honestly, it makes you feel lonely at times and like homesick, and it's not even like
Yeah.
homesick. You
But
mean,
like something
you're
is
lonely.
missing.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, I can't explain, but it's just like, yeah, my heart like wants something.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
maybe like something new, I don't know.
And the thing that like sometimes I would be like, okay, I'm feeling a bit lonely right now. Like I'm sad, I'm lonely, and I'm feeling a bit homesick. So what I'm gonna do is like I would hang out with my friends. But then when I'm hanging out with my friends and like we go on parties and like shit like that, I would be so exhausted afterwards that I could cry. Especially if I have to meet new people.
Yeah, like I feel like there's like two types of exhaustion. Like meeting new people, especially like if it's like a party setting, everyone is trying to make friends and everyone is trying to sell the best version of yourself. So it kind of like sometimes I feel like, oh, this person is a bit fake, you know.
I mean, like, yeah, looking back, it was definitely exhausting. But I think, like, in the moment, because we met a lot more new people in the beginning, like in August, September. And in the moment, it didn't seem that exhausting because it was like, I don't know, I wasn't really processing it. I don't know if it happened to you guys. Like, I was
Yeah, I
just
agree,
living in the moment and like just meeting people and everything. But then that's why I was telling you guys like the breakdown I had in January. Like, I wasn't processing anything. Like I was living abroad, I was living in a new country, meeting new people away from my family, like all these different new things that I hadn't really internalized up until January after New Year's. And then like that hit. So I don't know, like all the exhaustion, I think like I accumulated it and then it all just released at once, which I don't think is very good. Like I think it's good, I mean you have a therapy session, but yeah, I feel like it's good to like more like even out the spread out the exhaustion or the crying session.
Like we talked about the other day, like last year it was just like, even though it's not like officially event, but like things happen, a lot of things happened. Like first, like we came here, so we trying to adopt ourselves in a new environment, and then like we trying to make friends or like get used to city and academic stuff and shit. So like we were like putting so much effort every day, but then after New Year's, what are we gonna do?
That is actually another interesting topic. This just pops out in my head. For me, I'm really the type of person that I don't like to stay in one place for too long. How I cope with that is like by traveling. I remember when I was in China, like there is no way that I'm like staying in like my for more than like 5 months without, or not even 5 months, like 3-4 months without ever going anywhere. During Christmas, I risk it all. I like went to Portugal, you know, like. But yeah, I've always had that feeling of like wanting a new environment every time. Have you ever felt that way?
In my case, like I don't know how to put it into words properly, but I guess I've always felt like I didn't totally fit in with the other Chileans, you know, like I don't know, maybe it's the same in Japan or Indonesia, like there's already like a path, like a track set up since you're born, and like you need to follow that. Some people were really okay like with following that path and they were like conforming with it, which is fine, like it's not necessarily bad, you know, like it's, but I didn't really want that for myself or my life. Yeah, and I feel like when I was in school I constantly sought, what's the past tense of it? Like I always thought for like the international kids in my school, which weren't that many, but like my closest friend in high school is from India. Shout out to Tara. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. Like I feel like that's the issue with all of, for example, in Indonesia, you would finish a public school, and then you would go to like this one of like these really good public universities, and then you would go get a job, and then at your like 26, 27 you would go into your masters, and then like it's just, and then you find a job in like a corporate or like a startup, which is like obviously maybe even if I like do it in the Netherlands, maybe that's also my path, you know, like maybe after this I'm just gonna find a job in also like in a corporate or like something like that. But at least this is the mindset that I've always had since I was like in high school and even in middle school. I've always like if I can make something interesting out of that simple path, why wouldn't I do it? You know what I mean? So, and I feel like that's the general sense of like people who are motivated to go out of their country and out of their comfort zone, is to seek that kind of excitement in life.
Because you know, like when I like decided to not go to the school in the United States, my parents suggested me to go to school in like a university in Japan, but I didn't want it to go because you know, like I wanted to have like more experience, like I wanted to see new world and stuff. So, and I never been to Europe, so I just like look it up like Europe media school. So
Yeah.
and that's how I
First I'm going to Europe, I'm going to uni.
yeah, but people would ask me like, why like Netherlands and why Rotterdam? Like, well, I didn't even
Yeah.
know because I've never been.
Okay, I guess everyone deep inside has something that you really want to do. Like this is something that you're really passionate about and you really want to pursue. But then because of like, you know, the society, you need to make money, you need to do anything, you cannot really do it.
For me, it's acting. Like I actually like honestly like thought about going like I don't know like film school or like acting school in LA because I don't know. I always like dream about being the actress in Hollywood, which is like super big dream. Yeah, like honestly, like I even talked to my parents, but they were like, it's like really risky. Yeah, but if I didn't like get accepted to Erasmus, yeah, I would have gone to like acting school. I've been doing full dance since I was 5 years old. You know, like how I am. So I kind of like grew up in like being stage because like after school I go to like rehearsal and everything, and then like we had a show like every 2 months or something. Acting is a really like either you success or like
Yeah,
you can like you very like live with it.
Actually, I remember specifically telling my dad, like in 4th grade, I wanted to study journalism. And in Chile, journalism is not really like appreciated or like regarded as a very top career. It's engineering, medicine, and law. Like those are the 3 main traditional careers. I told my dad 4th grade I want to be a journalist, and he told me no, like don't do it, you'll die of hunger. I was like okay, and I blocked that for like so much time, and I even considered going into medicine. I even took biology HL because I really wanted to do become a doctor at some point. My junior year of high school, I like went back to it. I was like, wait a second, like journalism is the thing that I really want to do. And then I had the confrontation thing with my friends a little bit. And at first it was kind of hard to convince them, although they're like very non-conservative, like they're quite liberal and like accepting of different things. It was still like a topic that was a debate between us. They ended up accepting it, so that's why I'm here. But yeah, that's why I think one of the other reasons why I wanted to study abroad. I knew journalism in Chile objectively, like the market is very reduced and small. So I wanted to like explore different markets abroad. For a Chilean standard, this is like a risk, like what I'm studying, you know? I think that's also a lot of pressure on me sometimes. Like, oh, I have to succeed, like I have to prove them wrong. Like I always have that in my mind. Yeah, I remember like in Chile, I would tell them like, oh, I want to study abroad, I want to study journalism. They'd be like, oh, but like, are you sure you can make it? Like studying abroad, journalism, like, and I would feel like my blood boiling every time someone told me that. I was like, I need to prove them wrong. I need to like study abroad.
I think that's also could relate to the topic, like either like do what you want to do or like
making money.
Yeah.
Like everyone has been, you know, since I was a kid, you've always heard this saying, like, pursue what you really love, because like in the end of the day, what matters the most is like what makes you happy. But then what if something that makes you happy doesn't make you live? Coming back to what you said, I feel like since we are teenager, and obviously first of all, we're still not financially independent and everything, I feel like most of our own decisions are still very much, not constrained, but like dependent towards our parents. For example, you wanted to study journalism and you kind of have to confront your parents about it first. The feeling that you owe it all to your parents makes you feel like you have to achieve your biggest dream. I'm studying here and obviously my parents invested money in my education and everything. So in the end of the day, like, even though this is not like my initial first choice, in the end of the day, I still need to prove them that I can make it.
Something linked to what you said, like it also, I think it's linked to this other thought that I've been having. Owing something to your past self. Since I was in junior year of high school or even before, I was always wanting to study abroad and like I did everything to just study abroad. I don't know, like now that I'm here, although I love it and everything, sometimes I consider back like, oh, maybe I could go back to another country, like go back to Chile. So then I think back to myself like, no, but like you fought so much for this. Like, why would you like drain everything?
In the end of the day, it is your ego that is like playing around with it. Okay, honestly, if I asked my parents right now if I would to call them right now, they always told me never have an expectation from me. They always said that to me in a way that is like reassuring. Like they're trying to reassure me. We just want you to do whatever you love and try to be the best at it. We're gonna support you no matter what it is that you're trying to like do in life. It is just like me and my ego that is making me, oh my god, I owe it all to people, or like I owe it all to myself. Okay, let's get something deep, guys. Okay.
So, you know, like I applied to Japanese scholarship
Uh-huh.
in order to go to school in the United States. And I talk about like I wanna walk in the bikes, and then I also like talk about like the gender inequality in Japan. And then I made it to the selection, and then they asked me about like the gender inequality in Japan. So I started like talking about it. But then I got so emotional and I cried. And then they were like, I feel like a journalist like shouldn't be like emotional. Our interviewer like actually like told me like when I started crying, if you want to be like I don't know like a publisher or like journalist, like you don't have to put your emotion into that. And then that word like still like stuck in my mind. Like I don't think that's true, you know, because in order to like tell the story about like particular people like minority, I feel like you need to put the emotion
For sure.
in order to like what it's real, like what like the things that they're struggling.
Yeah. I think it just shows that you're like very connected with the people. Like you can connect easily and like empathize, and that's like something that is very valuable in journalism. And I mean, yeah, I get the whole of journalism should be like objective and whatever, but like still, like it shows your humanness, like you're caring. I would much rather hire a journalist who genuinely cares about the people they're reporting about than someone who's very like blatantly like putting a barrier with the people they're interviewing or working with.
I completely agree with you, Ellie. Because like journalism doesn't only stick to like news media and some sorts, you know. Humans of New York, people telling their stories. Like right now, you guys are telling your stories and your aspiration and your opinion about certain things. Like right now, this is a form of journalism.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, that's why I think it's really important to like to connect the people or like connect the culture or like the people in order to like tell what is real to the audience.
This is another interesting topic just popped up in my head. When I first moved out of Indonesia, I remember when I was still in Indonesia, I always shit on how bad Indonesia is as a country, and like the culture of people sometimes it's just like annoys the fuck out of me and everything. But when you're outside of the country, you're more appreciative towards the culture that you were raised in. I appreciate my culture even more. That's what makes me stand out. That's what makes me unique out of all of this nationalities, out of all of these cultures that are in here, you know?
I feel like if you like move out of a country, you also like think about your identity. Because like when I was in Japan, like I just like see myself as just Japanese and just part of one society. But like if I'm being here, like I'm the only Japanese in first year IPCOM, so like I feel like more strong identity to myself.
Yeah, I've been telling my friends back home in Chile, like I feel more Chilean now that I'm here. Like now that I'm out of Chile, I feel more Chilean.
But I'm curious, do you feel like more Chilean or Korean?
Yeah, so I've been like constantly talking about how I don't fully fit with the Chilean people or the Spanish speaking people, and I think part of it is because of my half Koreanness, and I've always had like that like something that made me stand out since I was little, so I've always knew that. But then since I have grown up into like all my life, I feel like I've just assimilated that culture fully. But when I'm in Korea, like they just see me as a foreigner, so they speak to me in English first. When I go to the stores or a restaurant, they just see me as a foreigner. So I think that's also another factor. Like in Chile, I can just pass as another Chilean, but in Korea, it's very noticeable that I'm not Korean.
This is the third attempt.
What did we talk about? Oh yeah, about ignorance. We live in an educated environment and everything. In the Netherlands, you can get anything and everything, and in a way, you're super privileged and you can access everything. And the fact that you're that privileged makes you don't think about all this discrimination and like all this how do you say it? Inequality that it exists in the world. And I've seen that happening even in this campus, even with like acquaintances and like friends that I've made in here. You know, I met this like Tinder guy before, and we talk and everything, and we exchange Snapchat, and like right now we don't talk anymore because he posted like all these like borderline racist and like super privileged TikToks on his like Snapchat story, and I was like, bro, what the hell? Like,
That's what shocked me the most, like, from my story of that guy. Like, he was like a Dutch white guy. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't expect people in Europe to, like, not know that much about the rest of the world. Like,
you guys never really experienced like direct racism, right, in here, or have you?
I mean, you know, when I was in Japan, like people around me was mostly Japanese, so I was always the one who talked. Like my friends always like told me about like their experience about racism and stuff. So I never like really experienced racism because I'm a pure Japanese. And then even here, I never like called out because I'm Asian or something. You know, but like you know, maybe because of my insecurity or something. Like sometimes I feel like, oh, people are not interested in me because I'm Asian or something. I don't know.
Oh my god, I thought I was the only one that felt that way, but like I'm so glad to hear like
okay.
someone actually like felt that way as well. And maybe it's just my insecurity. I really don't know, but like I felt that way, and I felt kind of like left out sometimes. Out of like.
Well, I feel like people, I don't know, people in general are either like interested in my culture or not even care about my culture. So either like really like opposite. But like when it comes to like picking, I don't know, like dating, what do you like value the most?
Ooh.
What's the most important point when it comes to like relationship?
Conversation, 100%. Like for me, I'm just the type of person that values conversation a lot. Like as I said before, and I'm gonna say it again, like I value conversation a lot, and I really crave that like deep understanding.
Wait, are you guys active on online dating app?
Oh, I deleted it.
No.
So no.
Yeah.
I never downloaded Tinder, to be honest. I don't know, it just, I feel like I heard like Tinder is really common in here, so I'm just scared to like match people that I know. But I downloaded Bumble during Christmas break.
Oh.
But like I've been on like a couple of dates, but I feel like, I don't know, like if you start from online and then you meet that person in person, you kind of like started like judging, like you know, like you ask a question to those people, but like you constantly judge people because you don't know them well. I like to start from like social setting, you know,
Same, like
not just like
organic.
one to
Yeah,
one,
organic.
you know. Yeah.
Oh my god, I saw this TikTok.
Yeah.
I go with a date organic
Yeah.
man. How's that?
Like,
Oh, spicy. No,
Alright.
this is like not spicy in like
okay.
relationship.
Okay.
But it's just like a spicy question. What promise do you want to keep to yourself this year?
I mean, my main resolution was to learn how to cook good food. That's not that deep. It's not like.
Okay. For me, I feel like this is very simple, yet it's so hard. I feel like to achieve it. I want to be brave to tell people that I don't like certain things about them, or something that they do makes me uncomfortable, and maybe it doesn't like suit me and everything, and it's just like, you know, don't feel really connected with like people. And I've been like having a lot of problems with that, because every time I would say it to them, like for example, I would have like a fucking ego boost, and I would like say it to them like, oh yeah, I don't really like you doing this to me, or like I don't really like you to behave this way to me. And they would be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry for hurting your feelings. And I'm like, no, it's okay, like never mind. Like I would always like get to that. So I'm like,
Yeah, same. Now that I think about it, like, I have a problem with setting boundaries with other people. Like, I always try to like make other people feel happy in a way, and by doing so, I feel like I'm not prioritizing myself sometimes. So it's also like bad in a way. Like, learning how to say no. I feel like that's also one of my promises.
That's so true.
yeah.
Yeah, and also like in terms of friendship, like when I'm thinking about it, like back in high school days, I'm also like super like social like outgoing person. So like I have like a lot of friends. So even though like I knew like people are not like nice to me, I always like trying to be nice to them. Even and then like every time I try to be nice, but I knew like they don't like me. But then I always get hurt by doing that. But also like I also like type of person like trying to be nice with everyone, and also like trying to be friends with everyone. I always like, I don't know, put into the situation where I can like I don't know, just like hurt myself, you know. But yeah, So even though like I knew like some people like really like toxic to me, I always like I don't know, say hi to them and then I keep it as a friend. But I feel like I just like realized it's really toxic and then not good for me, and then it's not even like true friends. So more, I feel like I want to more like care about like quality of friendship, you know, rather than quantity.
Period. 2021. Let's go.
Also like facing fear and also like getting out of comfort zone is like one thing that I've been working on as well.
Yeah.
Especially like since I came here. Cause it's especially like for 3 months I was like always scared of getting out of comfort zone and then making mistakes. But then then at some point I just realized it's just like a waste of time. So I'm trying to get out of my shell and everything. But like sometimes I get hurt of like things. It's not always like everything goes well. So I was like sometimes like why can't I just say that and stuff. But hopefully
I feel like with that, like the idea of like stepping out of your comfort zone and everything, I feel like all the discussion that has been going on around it has been like about the fear of like getting out of your comfort zone. But I want to ask something that is like a bit different. Like, what is something that you get out of that letting go of your comfort zone? Like, how do you, like, for example, you moved away from Japan, something that you were born and raised there, like, how old are you? 20. Like, all the past 19 years of your life has been in Japan and just like revolving around that culture. For me at least, it felt in a way like, I don't know, liberating, and makes me feel, it empowers me in a way that like I get to live alone and be okay with myself. So what about you guys? Like, how do you, like, this is stepping out of your comfort zone, and like how does that make you feel? Because sometimes I don't think like people talk about it a lot. Like they don't really think about, like, they don't really talk about, there's so many positive side out of it, but a lot of people just talk about the scaredness of like it, so switch the perspective a bit.
Okay, oh, that's interesting.
I don't know, I feel like I've grown so much in the past 5 months. I feel like if I would have just stayed in Chile during this past 5 months, I wouldn't have experienced all these things that like literally like character development, like so many things that like built me up. And like knowing that I'm able to live alone with my parents, like I didn't really cook that much when I was back home, like knowing that I can feed myself, or like these little things, and also like the dressing how I want, or talking freely, or all these things make me feel so much empowered. And I keep thinking like, oh, I really want to go back to Chile to like show everyone like,
especially none of us went back home for Christmas. That's why,
like I want to like just walk down the street,
TikTok.
Which one?
Like I'm the girl. You need to see those.
I feel like I do better if I put myself in the situation where I can challenge myself. So that's one thing I also like. That's why I didn't want to go to university in Japan. Cause like I don't know, everyone speaks Japanese, and then especially like a Japanese university, they don't focus on academic and they don't even take attendance.
Really?
Yeah. So for Japan, like in order to go to like a certain university, we have to like spend a year to study for the just one entrance exam. But like after they get into the university, they don't focus on academic. They just want the label that they went to that kind of university. So I didn't like the system at all. Like I just want to be like passionate what I'm studying. I also like want to challenge myself. So that's the reason that why I chose to be in abroad. So it's obviously it's not easy, but it's just fun to see my progress and stuff.
Honestly, like these progress, like you don't have to see it like in such a long time, like a long-term progress. Just take a look at your stuff back in August. Like, oh my god, there's so much things that have changed. about you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like how you, like looking at the past like 5 years, the people that you've met, all of this like kind of international community or whatever you want to call it. And for example, maybe it doesn't even have to be international, like just like the community that we have in here. It's just like, it's just very supportive. And I mean, at least like the friends that I've made and like us and everything, it's just like the environment has been very supportive, and the society has been like, in a way, because it is super individualistic, like they just don't give a fuck about you and like how you want to be. Like they're just like, okay, like you do you, I'll do me. So that's why I feel like we get to, how do you say, like we get to be whoever the fuck we want to be, and we get to express.
Yeah, so
You're super free.
what's better, like being hypocritical about it, like just hiding your real thoughts, or just telling you straight up what you think?
That's really interesting, because like it really has to depend on the society that you
Yeah.
live in. Because like honestly, if I were still to live in Indonesia, I feel like I'm like the most hypocritical bitch that ever exists. Honestly, I could never. Not because like I would never, like obviously I really want to be my 100% and be whoever the fuck I want, but it's just like, in a way, my society is not ready to accept how I really am. I don't know, like maybe it's just like the general idea that Indonesia, like it's just such a conservative country. For example, like something that is not even like extreme can be seen as like, oh my god, that's not the norm in here, or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer sometimes. And that's why I feel like, okay, I know this is getting like really deep and like really like, in a way, we might not want to admit it, and I have to really talk about this like really subtly and like very, because like I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but it's just like one of also like the main reason why we chose to be here and we chose to go abroad is like we actually want to get away out of that hypocrisy that we've already been, like it's been a cycle that we have for like the longest time in our life. So we want to get out of that cycle to be able to feel how is it like to be independent and free, to express however we want to be, you know?
Yeah.
Like in one of the main reason I feel like it's like that, because like for me it is like that. Like in one of my main reasons is to get out of that hypocritical cycle that I've been like living. So yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I think that summarizes as well like my reasons. I guess it's, I mean, linked to what I just said, like embracing the ups and downs of life, right? Like we try to, every time we call our parents, we try to make them feel like it's the best situation, like it's so positive, it's the greatest. But part of this experience is also living the bad moments. So I think we need to accept that and learn from them. And that's how we have developed so much, I think. That's why we have grown so much, by this negative, the bad, the good, the bad and the ugly. And that's why we're who we are right now. And we should embrace that now and in the future. Oh my god!
The philosopher! Okay guys, I guess that is it for the video. I hope that this is still working, so I'm gonna see you for another episode later. But yeah, thank you for Kay and Ellie for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting us. Yeah, so much fun.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was so awkward.